It's now time for Trivia Tracks with yours truly, Price Robertson. This edition of Trivia Tracks is brought to you by
ProMed Ambulance Services. Care you can count on.
And Beth Smith at Edward Jones. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
For half a century, Candid Camera has brought some of the most outrageous practical jokes to our TV screens. Created and originally produced and hosted by Alan Funt, the show began life on the radio in 1947 as the Candid Microphone. Following a series of theatrical film shorts, also titled Candid Microphone, Funt's concept came to television on August 10, 1948. The show involved concealed cameras filming ordinary people being confronted with unusual situations, sometimes involving trick props, such as a desk with drawers that pop open when one is closed, or a car with a hidden extra gas tank. When the joke was revealed, victims were told the show's catchphrase, "Smile, you're on Candid Camera." The catchphrase became a song with music and lyrics by Sid Raman. The show often played its hidden camera pranks on celebrities as well, including actress Ann Gillian and former President Harry Truman. Some of Funt's pieces did not involve pranks, but consisted simply of interviews with ordinary people. There were bizarre sequences in which people, sometimes children, gave one-of-a-kind interpretations of works of art. It wasn't until 1949 that the title Candid Camera started being used. At the same time, it switched from ABC to NBC, later moving to syndication in 1951 and running for 3 years before returning to NBC in 1958 as a segment on The Tonight Show under Jack Paar. The segment reappeared in 1959 on CBS as a feature on The Gary Moore Show, before once again becoming a standalone show in 1960. From then on until 1967, the show dominated its 10 p.m. slot, reaching its peak in 1963, placing second for the year in the Nielsen ratings. In these shows, Alan Funt was joined by several co-hosts. Broadcasting veteran Arthur Godfrey joined Funt for the first season until he quit due to his inability to get along with the volatile Funt. Replacing him was Gary Moore's pal, Durward Kirby, who was not as egotistical as Godfrey was. In 1966, the year the show switched from black and white to color, former Miss America Bess Meyerson stepped in as co-host. Following an ABC special in the summer of 1974, celebrating the program's 25th anniversary, Candid Camera returned that fall for a 5-year run in weekly syndication, with Funt hosting again, first alongside John Bartholomew Tucker, then Dorothy Collins. Fanny Flagg, one of Funt's writers during the 1960s run, also shared hosting duties with Funt on this incarnation, as did Phyllis George, Betsy Palmer, and Joanne Flug. I must admit the shows with Funt and Tucker are my personal favorites, as they are shown on an off-and-on basis on JLTV, short for Jewish Live Television. In 1983, NBC honored the show with a 35th anniversary special. 4 years later, CBS rolled out a series of occasional Candid Camera specials, with Peter Funt joining his father as co-host. In 1991, another syndicated version of the series aired with Dom DeLuise and Eva LaRue as co-hosts, but this version was axed after 1 season. Although Alan Funt authorized this version, he did not approve of the format or hosts. Funt stated in his 1994 autobiography candidly that he deeply regretted his decision, which he made strictly for financial reasons, mainly because he did not think DeLuise understood the spirit of the show or was an appropriate host, and also because he felt the bits were weak, uninteresting, and too preoccupied with incorporating the show's sponsor, Pizza Hut, into them in an overtly commercial way. In 1996, CBS celebrated the 50th anniversary of the format, dating back to the Candid Microphone days, with yet another special, which led to another series of occasional Candid Camera specials, and then to its return as a weekly show on the network with Peter Funt and Suzanne Summers as co-hosts. The show moved to PAX TV in 2001 with Dina Eastwood taking over as co-host, remaining on the air for 3 more years before suspending production. In 2014, cable channel TV Land revived the show. This time, Peter Funt was joined as co-host by Mayim Bialik. However, it was not renewed for a second season.
Till next time, I'm Price Robertson. Amazed by today's trivia?
Then join me for Trivia Tracks weekdays at 6:45 on Everybody's Country Y95.